Hello and welcome to the SCORE Houston TV series, The Journey with SCORE and Episode 13, Nonprofit Critical Success Factors. I'm Matt Heath, one of your hosts today and a Houston SCORE mentor. For the past 60 years, SCORE has been providing excellent support for small businesses and nonprofits, offering free, confidential mentoring, and many tools and resources for diverse business areas. Now we're partnering with HTV to develop a series with actionable business insights. Each episode offers many tips and guidelines to elevate your understanding of the exciting journey of entrepreneurship. In our last Entrepreneur's Journey episodes, we explored banking and access to capital for small businesses and entrepreneurship. Today, we're excited to talk about nonprofit best practices and then talk with two nonprofit entrepreneurs about their experiences growing their organization with support from SCORE mentors. So, stay tuned. Welcome back to today's episode of the Entrepreneur's Journey titled Nonprofit Critical Success Factors. I'm Matt Heath, a Houston SCORE mentor, and I'm joined by my co-host, another Houston SCORE mentor, Kamala Raghavan. Welcome, Kamala.
Thanks, Matt. We both spend time with clients wanting to start a new nonprofit and also people who are trying to expand what they are about. So I am really delighted to be having a part in this and talking about it.
Well, sounds great. So, come on, maybe if you could tell me what really is a nonprofit? I hear the word tossed around, but explain it to us.
Nonprofit is a business entity like anything, and it is recognized in Texas and in the U.S., and it has got several characteristics which are somewhat different from the for-profit. It is mission-driven. It is not profit-driven, because the bottom line is really what they can do for the clients, what they can do for the community. That's what matters to them. And also the board of directors are really having the fiduciary responsibility. And as opposed to having shareholders, they don't have any shareholders.
So maybe if you could take a second to fiduciary responsibility, what does that mean for the folks at home there?
Fiduciary responsibility is taking care of the mission, vision, objectives, goals that the organization, for example, the United Way or hospital or any of them, they are about providing community service. So the board of directors have got responsibility to make sure, one, they are financially viable. That is absolutely critical. And they also help them with getting the finances needed. In addition to that, they want to always look over their shoulders to make sure that they are sticking to what they said they were about. So that's what I consider to be their fiduciary responsibility. There are no shareholders, so they're really responsible to the community for what they can do. The other thing is donations, which is quite different from a for-profit. Donations are tax deductible to you and me when we contribute. So really, that is not something that you see in the for-profit. And the other thing is, all surplus funds have to stay in the entity, and they cannot do anything else. You know, if it's tax exempt, and it has to stick to what it said it would do, and then the measurement of success outcome is by outcomes. What are they doing for the community? What are they doing for their clients? And not in terms of bottom line profit or ROA or EP, earnings per share, et cetera, et cetera. So those are all the standard things that a nonprofit is judged by. 75% of the nonprofits that we are dealing with are 501c3. So that's all we are going to talk about today.
Okay.
There are other types of nonprofits, but we are going to stick to the 501c3.
So what's a 501c3? What's their focus?
Public charity.
Public charity, okay. And what does that mean from public charity?
They get the funds from the public, and they use it for the purposes they outlined in their mission. That's all. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay. So things like education, homelessness, hunger, food,
Yeah.
education, those type of things.
Yeah, or number of patients. Many hospitals are nonprofit. United Way is a nonprofit, and you have the star of so many people, so many entities. Salvation Army is another one. So they try to give service to the underprivileged and who all need. And it is, one example is what is going on right now. There are so many entities, nonprofits, that have stepped forward to provide food to
because of the SNAP benefits not there.
Yeah.
So so would you say that the main reason, or one of the big reasons for the purpose of nonprofits, is to step in where business and government it kind of falls between the cracks?
Yeah. Or somebody who doesn't know how to navigate, they also help them. And so there are so many ways they are helping our communities, our citizens.
So what are some of the, so nonprofits are still a business. So what are some of the similarities, we talked about the differences, what are some of the similarities with for-profits?
Similar to a for-profit, they have their metrics. They are judged by how well they are performing, what is their goal, how are they providing the services, are they financially solvent, are they making sure that they're independent of the internal control, etc. So it's very similar to what the for-profits are doing also. But again, they have HR, they have the technology, they have management, you name it. Everything that we see in a for-profit, we also see in nonprofit.
Okay, and so hospitals are, the largest hospitals here in Houston are nonprofit, right?
Oh yes, many of them, not all of them, many of them are.
And but they operate basically the same, they just take donations as well as treating people.
And you just hit upon that one, the donations. That is the difference between for-profits and non-profits. For-profits are always going to be looking at earned income and capital contributed by the owners. Here, you will have earned income and you will also have contributed income or donation income, which you and I will give to maybe Salvation Army and take a deduction on our taxes, and that is something that no for-profit can do, and that is one of the basic differences. That doesn't mean that either one is more important, earned income as well as the contribution.
So maybe if you can give me 2 to 3 critical success factors for somebody to be successful in a nonprofit.
To be successful, they have to know what they are about.
Okay.
Okay.
So they know what they're about, the business and expertise. What else?
And then they have to know how to look at their sales, how to improve their. I mean, when you say sales, it is more connected with for-profit. But here you are talking about services.
Okay.
Okay. And so in a hospital, it is like, how many people did I serve? How many people did I vaccinate? Or what kind of emergency services did I provide? Those are all services, and they are judged by that. And you are also they also need to know about regulations.
Okay. And so regulations are important.
Absolutely. And also know how to navigate with the government funding. That is really very important for the nonprofits.
Okay, and then kind of maybe we can close here on this section about what are 2 to 3 common misconceptions about nonprofits?
Well, you and I have gone through that with many of our clients. The first thing they will say is, I need a grant. What they don't realize is you have to be in business for a little while before you can go and apply for a grant.
So no free money.
No, and that's one of the biggest misconceptions I see. The other one is, I have a great mission. That's all I need. No, it's not, because mission is only one part of it. How to operate, how to implement, and all of that, is going to be.
And how do I sell to get those contributed incomes, those donations, right?
Absolutely. Contributed income as well as earned income.
Okay.
How well you are doing it. And then and then somebody will come to you, and I'm sure you have had that and I've had that. My idea is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and I'm going to be successful with that. It's not always the case.
Kamala, thank you for that excellent overview of nonprofits and what people can look for, the critical success factors, and the money's not free. Would you like to have any closing words?
Yeah, nonprofits are fantastic for the community, and SCORE promotes them as much as we can. And you are going to hear after the break about 2 successful nonprofits that have been our clients. So I'm looking forward to that, Matt, too, about hearing from them what worked for them, what didn't. So thank you.
Thank you, Kamala. And thank you. And we'll be right back.
The holidays just got a little sweeter as City Lights Downtown Holiday Magic, presented by Kroger, returns to showcase 11 enchanting destinations with new surprises. Bring the family and experience them all. More at visithouston.com.
Welcome back. Joining me now is Dan Gordon. Please give our audience a short overview of Gordon Education.
Thanks, Matt, my amazing mentor. So Gordon Education started about a decade ago, and we have a mission to empower youth voices through the art of filmmaking. So when we began, we started making videos for teachers to use in classrooms to teach the academics through the arts. So kids could be learning science through dancing, or they could be learning math through visual art. And we created all these wonderful videos, and we worked with the executive producer of Sesame Street, and we worked with the local PBS station, and we did a couple seasons of this, and it was very successful because it was used in classrooms all around the country. But a few years ago, we wanted to expand our business model, not just create media for kids, but have students and young people create media for the general public, and we thought that was very exciting. So we had young people write their own scripts, they design costumes, lights, audio, they learned how to use a video camera, and now we are working in schools, juvenile detention centers, museums, community centers, in Houston, Harris County, and also
and you have summer camps as well, correct?
We have a lot of summer camps, yeah. And I'm exhausted by the end of them. Like by the end of summer camps, I'm like, I need to take a nap because we do, it's 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day. Kids love it. We have it for different ages. One's like 9 to 12. The other one is from 12 to 14. But we're going to go for older next year because all the 14-year-olds were like, we want to come back, but you don't have an older camp. And we're like, okay, we'll give you, we'll expand our ages. And so we do a historical filmmaking camp. We do a narrative fiction one, and we do a documentary filmmaking camp. And next summer, we're going to be collaborating with the Eternal Gandhi Museum, so we'll do a peace building camp. So,
great. And your classes usually are about 20 students then?
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. When we're working in the public schools, I mean, we can get up to 25 students. And then, you know, we can get sometimes a little less. But when we're in the public schools, we usually have the teacher present, and it's a little bit easier for classroom management too.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so really what you've moved to is instead of creating content for children and for kids, the kids now are actually making the content for themselves.
Yeah, it's really cool. And they have wild ideas. That's one reason I like working with kids, is because like they can think of anything. They're like, well, we want this to be in outer space. We want this to take place, you know, underneath the ocean. We're like, we'll make it happen. And we have a green screen. And it's really cool for young people to see whatever they think in their mind could be shown on like the big screen, right?
That's great. So they're learning some life skills then, so they can do TikTok videos when they grow up.
Well, yeah, you know, TikTok is interesting because it made video making ubiquitous. But what we're really trying to do is kind of create thoughtful media.
Okay.
Learn about the hero's journey. Learn about how to create media that has a global impact or an impact in your community.
Okay.
And I think TikTok is wonderful in getting messages out there in like 30-second segments.
Okay.
But, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about where you were when you reached out to SCORE 3 years ago.
Okay. When I reached out to Matt. Okay. Well, I saw your picture on there, like a dating profile. I know, but it was a SCORE. So I'm like, I read your profile and I was like, oh, he looks good. He's got good cred. He's got good business. And I'm like, that's what I need, because when I was teaching in the schools, I was the only one teaching, and I was going from school to school, and I'm like, this is not sustainable. How am I going to maintain this? I had a salary, but I wasn't growing, and I'm like, something's got to change, right? And I was like, I was stuck, and so I called you. I was like, I need a business mindset.
Because you're really an artist, not a business person.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've done business before in my life, but like thinking about revenue and thinking about sales, this was like, it's not my wheelhouse. Yeah. And you came in there and you were like, all right, Dan, let's create a strategic plan for all of your classes. And that was really helpful for me.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
so we kind of really have been trying to bring in the business with your art and help it grow. So maybe if you could talk a little bit about the journey that you've done over the last 3 years. How's your business changed?
So a few things. So like when we got together, we put like a 12 to 18 month strategic plan, and that was helpful. And like one of the things that we do is like we plan 6 months in advance, and we talk every Friday at 9:30 in the morning. We have a call, and you give me action items to do every week. Like as a nonprofit executive, I need action items. And then one of the major things that you taught me is to teach teachers. And so we could expand the work we do. So now we have a team of 5 teachers in the community that I train, that are teaching in juvenile detention centers, that are teaching in the public schools and the community centers as well.
So you've really kind of gone from a job you had where you were running around to now really a business where you're having people that teach for you, and you still do the sales and that type of thing.
Yeah, and I enjoy teaching too. But I also wanted more time for myself. Like as a filmmaker, I wouldn't have enough time to make my own films. And I was like, I need more time in my life. How can I do that? And you were like, okay, Dan, we're going to get you there. This is how we're going to do it. And then slowly, I've been creating more time in my life so I can actually make my own art, which has been so important for me, because I'm not happy if I'm not making my own art. And you've helped me make that possible.
Well, great. And so you really shifted. When we started, you were doing all in the schools.
Yeah.
And now you've added juvenile detention centers and summer camps, and you're growing your summer camps. What, last year you had 3, and this year you may have 6 to 7?
Oh, yeah, maybe 6. Yeah, 7 maybe. But like one thing that we talked about a couple months ago, you were like, okay, Dan, we're not going to start promoting 3 months before the camp. We're going to start promoting 6 months before the camp. Let's figure it out. December. Let's put it out there, and then we'll start recruiting earlier on. So you help me with the long term.
And so we brought in another mentor who's an expert on marketing, Andreas Goldsmith. How was that?
Andreas is cool. He has me thinking in ways I don't normally think about, which is like like profiles of my customer, right? Who am I selling to? And then like not just like who am I selling to, but like where do they get their news media? Who do they communicate with? How apt are they to want to enroll their children in their camp? So like he's been helping me try to get different profiles, and when we do that, it helps out with the marketing.
That sounds great. So tell me what would your advice be for a nonprofit executive like you were 3 years ago, as far as reaching out to SCORE?
Well, I think it's super helpful because it gives you a structure when CEOs of nonprofits don't have always have a plan. They don't know where they're going next, and they have to pivot a lot. But I also know that you get what you put in. Like, this wouldn't work if you just told me information. I'd be like, okay, whatever. But you tell me information, and I'm like, all right, I do the homework, I send it back, you look over, and then we kind of go back and forth.
Great. Okay. Well, Dan, thank you for an overview. Do you want one last word?
Nonprofits are important.
Okay, great.
And they make our society better. And then come to our summer camps.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Dan.
All right.
And soon we'll be right back with Kloe Evans and talking about KUTS for Christ.
Downtown is an art lover's dream with more than 65 pieces of public art.
In Houston, a taco is never just a taco. It's an inspiration from conversation, a reflection of experimentation, a product of our streets, our languages, our art, our dreams, taken from here and there. A little of this, a little of that. It's where heritage and ambition come together. That's just how it works around here. Because we know together makes it amazing.
Grease and wipes clog pipes. In fact, clogs from these items are the main cause of sewer overflows in Houston. Learn more at protectourpipes.org.
Welcome back. Joining us for our last segment is Kloe Evans. Kloe, please tell us a little bit about yourself and Cuts for Christ.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again for this beautiful opportunity. I am Kloe Evans. I am the founder of Cuts for Christ, which is a nonprofit based here in Houston, where we provide haircuts, resources, and prayer and discipleship training to the disenfranchised and low-income community. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Great. So tell us a little bit about kind of the impact. You've been in business now 10 years, and I think in March or April,
Yes.
you're going to have your 10-year gala celebration?
Yes, yes, yes. It is a beautiful, it has been an impactful and a mountaintop and valley journey, as I say so myself. I can honestly say throughout the years, we have had the opportunity to connect, lock arms with pretty much a great amount of pastors and churches around Houston, new partnerships with schools, new partnership with organizations, and we have been able to provide this year alone over almost close to 1,000 haircuts and close to about 250 salvations and prayers and all of the things. So it's been really intentional, but to be able to provide those resources and prayers and haircuts to make somebody feel good and look good about themselves. So it's been great.
So and we'll talk more about it when we get into some of the details, but essentially Cuts for Christ is a resource for churches, any organization that's working with the homeless and disadvantaged to make them feel better and good about that, an instant solution.
Yes, absolutely. And we've had great success rates, right? Because again, a lot of our opportunities and partnerships are word of mouth. So even though we use our social media platforms, our Instagrams, Facebooks, TikToks, and all those things, it's literally word of mouth. So 9 times out of 10, when we get referrals, they're like, hey, a pastor referred you, an organization referred you, and it's just been relational. We're really intentional about that. So it's been really good.
So like Kamala and I were talking about, you're always out there selling in your relationships, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
So tell me a little bit about when you reached out 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Actually almost on Halloween. So tell us a little bit about where you're at and what you were looking for from SCORE.
I'll definitely say about 4 years ago, I was mentally and emotionally, I feel like we were at a cap. I felt like we had so much potential that we were needing that extra push far as in direction on what the next season will look like for us. So I knew when I reached out to SCORE, I was actually referred. Just as Dan was speaking a little bit earlier, I seen your picture and something gravitated me to you, Matt. So you're awesome. Thank you for sticking with me this long. But it was something organic that naturally attracted me to you. But it was more so the skill set that you offer to this day, still 4 years later, that you've been such a great impact on creating strategy. That was one of the things that I feel like we were kind of lacking, strategy, and then also like the next momentum on like executing a master plan on taking us to the next level. And for the past 4 years, I feel like that has increased each year, that our numbers have grown, our impact has grown, and also our finances have grown. So I can honestly say SCORE has helped develop a strategic plan for us to move and prosper forward. So it's been a great blessing.
Well, great. So most organizations do contributed income, and we talked with Kamala a lot about that. But you actually have gotten to the point where you're over 50% of your income from earned income.
Absolutely.
So maybe talk a little bit about what earned income means to you, and what does that mean, and kind of how that works with your business model today.
Absolutely. I think I can honestly speak on that because I've always been nonprofit driven, right? And not really thinking about the for-profit. And I think that is something that I had to kind of take into consideration. Like for the past 5.5 years, I was funding out of my own pocket, right? And that's not logically, sustainable, definitely in the direction that we are growing right now. So now we have created opportunities for tier packages, for instance, right? So when we're doing contract work with schools or within churches, we will never charge the individual that is sitting in the chair, but we will also cover the overhead within the church where they will pick a tier package. From that tier package, we will build out a team of volunteers, barbers and hairstylists, prayer partners, and we will cultivate a customized package for that individual entity, and we will service them in that way. And by doing that model, it has helped us increase for that income statement that we're able to do. So
if I can kind of summarize what you guys do is right now is that you have packages that you'll bring 5 barbers and you'll work for 4 hours. You'll do 25 haircuts. You come in, you have a tent, you got music, you got Bibles, you got prayer hosts. Everybody comes in. So a church that wants to do outreach to the homeless that maybe doesn't have a lot of experience, they can call you, and for one fee, you come in and make it all magic, and you can kind of train their folks and give them an opportunity to learn from somebody who's done a lot of that.
Absolutely. And it sells itself. Like that's the one thing that I think our greatest feedback has been is they don't have to worry about anything. They don't have to worry about the initial individual kind of showing up. By no means, we bring everything, we set up, and then it's a great experience. So it has just been extremely impactful. So. Yeah.
Well, maybe can you tell us, take a minute or so and give an example of somebody that you worked with that a haircut made a big difference in their life, especially maybe one of a child that did that.
Oh man, absolutely. So actually a young girl. So we do a lot of events with schools, and we do a lot of events with like foster care kids and refugee kids and everything like that. But in addition to us doing a particular foster care service outreach, a young lady got inspired and she wanted to learn. She wanted to become a hairstylist. She wanted to learn what we were doing because, again, she never seen anything like it. So by us showing up and being able to be that impact, she's now interning. And now she's able to watch, observe, and learn what we're doing as an individual entity. So we're creating that dynamic of barriers that people feel like they don't have an opportunity or chance, and we're able to carry them along us to watch for an opportunity to grow in a skill set that or a trait that they didn't have before.
So you're giving her opportunities, a vision, kind of some passion, and a chance to kind of work with people and almost be like an apprentice.
Absolutely,
Okay, so what has been what do you think the biggest impact, if you can just do one thing, of being with SCORE? What's the thing that's been the most impactful for you?
I will honestly say the consistency. The consistency, I know we're speaking on SCORE as in totality, but just you, Matt, you have been a blessing to KUTS for Christ, and just all of the input and all of the structure that you have allowed to follow alongside of us with KUTS for Christ has allowed us to be the version that we are today. Never in a million years I would thought we would be in this position 4 years later, but with the SCORE help and with your help alongside of that, we are just hitting a peak of what all we have in store. So
you're getting ready to celebrate 10 years.
Yeah.
You've got some grants out that potentially could double your impact for next year.
Absolutely, yeah.
You got a lot of support. And so what are you most excited about as you go forward? What's your why or your drive?
I'll say more connections, more unity, more partnerships, but more souls that we're able to impact. That is what I'm looking forward to for 2026 and beyond.
Okay. And so if you were giving advice to some folks that are nonprofit, maybe they have one that's been out for a couple of years, they've been self-supporting, what advice would you give them about reaching out to SCORE?
I would definitely take them to take the leap, because you don't know what you don't know, right? And I think a lot of times as a nonprofit, they feel a little intimidated that they've been around a little bit and is scared to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Allow somebody to walk alongside of you and to see those blind spots that you may not be able to identify, and be able to allow somebody to walk alongside of you, because that's what helped me.
Great. Well, thank you, Kloe. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Any last comment?
Man, listen, I thank you again, Matt, for the opportunity. I thank SCORE, and I thank everybody that has poured into the organization to make it what it is today.
Kloe, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your inspirational story.
Thank you, Matt, for having me.
So if you are interested in supporting SCORE or would like to learn more about what SCORE does, please visit scorehouston.org. I'm Matt Heath. Thank you for watching.